most people don't know this. They just think that, oh, when they come to Portugal, they're just going to find work, they're going to find restaurant jobs or whatever jobs they're thinking they're going to get. No, you're not. Number one, you don't speak Portuguese yet. So you can't get restaurant jobs because you need to communicate. You can't get cleaning jobs safe. So I would call myself a PhD candidate in the history of science, history, heritage, and philosophy of science and technology in a university in Lisbon. So if you see me looking at another side, I'm looking at the other camera I'm using to record this. So a few weeks ago, somebody sent me an email in my institutional email, and they were asking me if they should come to my school or my department to study a particular course. Now, I gave the person the perfect answer, but I don't know if it was perfect. I gave them what I know. So, and I thought about, okay, what I should probably share a little bit of my experience, and you can make your decision from that. So, my year should have started September or October 2022, but because of visa delays, I did not leave the country I was coming from till like March of 2023. So I didn't start the year until the second semester. So I already missed all of the introductory topic that they are taught, and that set me back like years. And to say this, it was really hard getting around Lisbon, moving houses. I was living in Lisbon first of all, then my school was on the other side of the river. I was looking for a place closer to school, and because the first accommodation was also temporary, so I had to move. So getting all those sorted, attending classes, waiting for my permit, because you really have to wait for your permit before you can work, because most people don't know this. They just think that, oh, when they come to Portugal, they're just going to find work, they're going to find restaurant jobs or whatever jobs they're thinking they're going to get. No, you're not. Number one, you don't speak Portuguese yet. So you can't get restaurant jobs because you need to communicate. You can't get cleaning jobs safe. So I know I was talking to somebody when I don't want to clean toilet. I'm like, nobody's even going to employ you to clean toilets because you don't speak Portuguese yet. And another thing is that many people assume that once they come in and they're student or something, they start working. No, you need to wait for the appointment that you have to do your, maybe the biometrics for your permit. You need to wait for that day, and most people have it in months. But I think for some Portuguese, so people coming from Nigeria, they stamp it on their passports sometimes. But people where I came from, my appointment day was already on my visa. So I knew my appointment day, and luckily for me, it was like 3 months after I'd entered, or maybe 2 more or 3 months. So I went there that day, I submitted, and I got my card in like 5 days. It was delivered at my apartment. So that sorted, I started looking for a job after that. And I got a job like maybe 4 or 5 months after arriving in, I don't think it was up to that. I think it was like 3 to 4 months after arriving in Portugal. So my case was really different, but I was struggling in school. First of all, I had finished my master's in 2015, not even 2015, 2014, but the results didn't come out in 2015, so let's say 2015. So imagine coming into a PhD 9 years after a master's. I already forgot everything, and I was a teacher in China, so I was teaching English, let's say English as a second language, US history. So you need to focus on English and also focus on US history. So it was like teaching almost like middle school history curriculum to high schoolers, something like that, because this is not the way it is. It's just because it's not a history of their country, and we are trying to look for the easiest way for them to understand. That's why it's like that. So I already dumbed myself down, and I wasn't even reading because everything was on screen for me. So I would probably prefer to watch something. I didn't do a lot of research. Okay, probably I did a research that was like maybe on my previous thesis, which was like in textile history, Ashoke, and that was it. And luckily for me, I was in, and I started struggling because my initial proposal was about it was about teaching technology teaching history with technology. That was my initial proposal, I think, because it's been long now, I can't really remember. So now, when I got in, I saw that the department's focus was very, very different. And I was trying to understand a lot of concepts. There was a lot of concepts that I had not heard about. Remember, my course is in history, heritage, and philosophy of science and technology. And I had to understand the philosophy aspect. And that took me a long time, because most of the things they were saying was new. The ways of writing was new to me. The way they write, they want you to write, was a bit different from the way I used to write. So there were so many philosophical theories that I need to understand. There was a history of Europe, history of technology. It was a whole lot. We're reading a lot of papers. And at that time, I was trying to get a job. I was trying to survive. I had so many things in my head. Most times I have to translate my lectures. So it was a hard time for me, and I was struggling badly. On top of struggling, I thought that maybe I wasn't doing well. I thought I was a failure. That was what I thought. I said, okay, you don't know this. You don't know how to even read a page and understand, then something is wrong with you. I kept that with me for months. I started thinking that something was wrong with me. I don't know how to do this. I felt like a complete failure. So in the second semester, so I took the semester again. So in my second semester, I started doing another course, and by that time I finally got a supervisor. So I was talking to the supervisor, and she noticed something, that I didn't like to fail. I was struggling. I didn't understand most of the things I was reading, and we had sometimes I have to read in that course we have to read 2 to 3 papers, or even 4 papers every week, and write about them and talk about them. That was a lot for me, because I was also working night shift. By that time, I had gotten a job. So I'm working night shift. I close at 7 a.m., use 2 hours to get home, sleep, and wake up and try to read. My brain was not braining at all. Let's just say that. So when people ask me, should I come to Portugal to school? I want to take a step back. Make sure that first, when you're looking at that course, don't use Google Translate. Make sure that you went and saw that the language of the course is English, Portuguese, or English and Portuguese, so that you will know the language you're meeting. And also try to ask questions. Ask under YouTube videos like this. Ask under Instagram posts like this. What should I expect? How are the people? People are nice. Forget, people are nice, I will tell you that. But you need to ask, what is the department like? Are there scholarships? Can you even get scholarship? So what I noticed for me was that even though I could apply for the national scholarship, it needed authentication from my result needed authentication from Nigeria, which I did. I did that for 1.5 years, guys. It was so long. I was regretting my life. After that came out, I got all my certificates sent to me, and I wanted to do the degree authentication here. So they had to you have to find a school that also does the course that you did in Nigeria. And I studied history in Nigeria. Most of our courses were history of Nigeria, history of Yoruba, all those kind of things. Where am I going to get a school in Portugal that studied all those things? So the first school said no. I think the second school also said no. At that point, I just gave up. I was just like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to pay my tuition, because luckily we can pay tuition every month. They will divide it into 10. So whatever your tuition is, so if your tuition was, for example, the tuition is not 800 though, but if your tuition was 800, you divide it into 10 and you can pay that monthly. So that is also part of it. Now, at the end of that semester where I took that course, where my supervisor identified some of my struggles, it was because we had to sit down, and she was telling me that I think that you struggle with maybe you don't want to fail, or is it cultural or something like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm a 35-year-old woman. I don't want to fail, for real. But then I had to tell myself, if you fail in core, who's gonna care? You need to fail to know. So I had to tell her that I'm willing to learn, no matter how long the PhD is. Because I don't want to finish this PhD and not know what I'm talking about. and not know what my course was about or what my thesis was about, or keywords in my thesis or concepts in my thesis. I don't understand them. So I started reading the papers that we've read in the past one by one, trying to understand them. Sometimes it takes me days. So I told myself, what should I do? Maybe I should be a part-time student. So I switched to a part-time. And I actually slashed my tuition into half. So then I feel relaxed that my monthly salary, which is low, can cover my rent, my tuition, my house. By the time it covers everything, I don't even really have anything left. So before you want to come to Portugal, ask questions. I mean, this is just a storytelling post about my experience. If you ask questions below this post, I'm probably going to tell you more. Or if you want me to make a video about a particular thing that I remember, it's going to be, I could make a video about that. But one thing is that I don't know the generalized visa processes, because I did mine from a third country. I didn't do it from Nigeria. So from Nigeria, it's a bit different. But I still know some of the steps. So that's what I would like people to ask about. And, please ask questions. Ask questions under this post. I will take my time to answer. And some people, they want to move to another country in Europe. Okay, you can also move. You can also ask me, why did I choose Portugal? Yes, Portugal's, and if you want to come, please know that Portugal's minimum wage is lower than other European countries. So don't be dreaming things like you want to, don't be pursuing American dreams in Portugal. Okay, so if you want to make a lot of money, go somewhere where you can make a lot of money. But if you want to make a lot of money that will be enough for you monthly, that's good for you. And please, don't listen to anybody advising you to come in through another legal means, I say, because if you don't have a permit, you cannot get a job right now. Maybe 2 years ago, 5 years ago, it was like that. Don't listen to anybody. They just want you to come and suffer, because it's hard to get other type of jobs. It's hard without the language. So if you can speak Portuguese, come on. Come here. Come on. Just do it. But if you can't speak Portuguese, you can only speak English. And look, almost everybody can speak English. So it's a little bit, So if you have any questions, let me know. You should answer. I can answer a few from my experiences here living in Portugal. I live in Lisbon, so I might not know things about Porto or any other place, but maybe I can have a few tips about Lisbon. Thank you for watching. Bye.